The 11th of October, 1492. On a calm, clear night, Christopher Columbus and his crew sailed slowly across one of the deepest ravines in the Atlantic and through the Bermuda Triangle. Below them was almost 4 miles of water. Suddenly, unearthly lights were seen flashing across the bottom of the ocean.
One of the earlier cases comes all the way back from the day before Columbus Day in 1492, before there was a Columbus Day. And it happened on the Santa Maria. This person's name was Gutierrez. And Gutierrez was on the Santa Maria with Christopher Columbus and noticed an object rising out of the water, a disc-shaped object.
A great flash of light, brighter than anything known at the time, suddenly erupted from the sea into the sky. It startled Columbus and his crew of 120 aboard the 3-ship Spanish fleet. Less than 5 hours later, they would discover the New World.
Christopher Columbus maintained a log in the ship. It describes what could be interpreted as a UFO event. They saw, in the description given in the logbook, the flickering of a wax candle going up and down in the night. It couldn't have been a campfire on ground, because it was beyond the horizon.
This possible USO incident is more than just legend and lore. Original text from Columbus's log has been made available by archivists at Fordham University, custodians of a rare handwritten copy of the journal. The 11th of October sighting was not an isolated occurrence. Over the 2-month journey, Columbus's log shows a consistent pattern of cryptically reported peculiar incidents, including unexplained sightings and unusual events in outer space. The following extract is from an entry on the 10th of September, 1492, halfway through the voyage.
The crew of the Nina stated that they had seen a garajo and a water wagtail, but these birds never go farther than 25 leagues from the land.
An entry on the 11th of September, 1492.
Saw a large fragment of the mast of a vessel, apparently of 120 tons, but could not pick it up.
Entries on both the 17th and the 20th of September described stars or other unidentified lights in the sky that were seen to move.
The cause was that the star moved from its place, but the needles remained stationary.
And from the infamous entry of the 11th of October.
The Admiral, at 10 o'clock that evening, standing on the quarterdeck, saw a light. Calling to Pero Gutierrez, he told him he saw a light and bid him look that way, which he did, and saw it. The Admiral again perceived it once or twice, appearing like the light of a wax candle moving up and down.
Is it possible that these strange events, recorded during that fabled nautical journey, were the result of otherworldly vessels tracking Columbus's fleet? Some suggest that any interpretations or rationalizations that might be gleaned from Columbus's log are not the whole truth.
If Christopher Columbus saw a strange thing come out of the water, fly around his ship, and then take off, would he have told anybody about it? They'd have locked him up in the brig instantly. The guy's crazy, because things can't do that.
One of the earliest USO reports comes from 329 BC. Alexander the Great witnessed what he described as shining shield-like objects flying in and out of the Jaxartes River in India. He was so convinced that he had witnessed otherworldly vessels that he spent the final 6 years of his life searching for evidence in a diving bell, believed to be the world's first submarine. Some claim, however, that Alexander's underwater adventures had a greater goal, finding and conquering the one kingdom that had eluded him, Atlantis.
Well, Atlantis first enters literary history in the philosophical dialogues of Plato. These are the Timaeus and the Critias.
The gods, bothered by the attitude of the Atlanteans, decided to destroy Atlantis. In one day and one night, they destroyed it with a cataclysm, and it sank.
To this day, researchers speculate about Atlantis as a hub of USO activity.
the legend of Atlantis definitely is based on knowledge, probably lost by today, of some secret underwater civilization.
Atlantis' supposed location in the Mediterranean would have provided a convenient spot for USOs to monitor human civilizations and the shipping routes between Asia Minor, Rome, and Athens.
The Mediterranean was the cradle of ancient civilization. The Phoenician traders traveled back and forth between the Middle East and Greece across the Mediterranean. If there were a culture of either aliens or original inhabitants of planet Earth who wanted to seed the planet, to seed humanity with myth, the Mediterranean is a natural base for them to set up an underwater facility.
Well, I don't know if Plato was talking about unidentified submerged objects when he came up with Atlantis, but I suppose there are people who, number one, assume that Atlantis is real, number two, that it's somewhere in the Atlantic, number three, that it's buried under thousands of feet of water.
The ancient Athenians were not the first to record stories of unidentified objects in the oceans. Some experts believe that the ancient Egyptians recorded sightings in their hieroglyphic drawings.
In ancient Egypt, in the temple at the city of Abydos, somebody made an inscription, a depiction of a submarine. There was another depiction of an object that looks like a helicopter. Who made it? How did the ancient Egyptians know about it? We have no idea.
One of the earliest European cases is a series of recorded sightings in England in the 11th century.
One of the oldest cases I have on the site goes back to the year 1067. It has to do with people in the countryside seeing something flaming in the sky that came down to Earth, lit up the countryside, and then went up again, and then into the sea.
Carl Feint has been researching USO phenomena for almost a decade. His website has an exhaustive archive of over 900 current and historic USO sightings. According to Feint, one of the 20th century's first cases was reported in the Philadelphia Inquirer on the 1st of August 1904. A British cargo ship, the Mohican, en route to Philadelphia, was, according to the paper, enshrouded in a strange metallic vapor which glowed like phosphorus.
I have found out recently that that case is a heck of a lot more detailed and scary than originally shown. The captain and the crew confirmed that an object came across the ocean, a cloud, approached the ship, and was glowing. Not a meteor, going straight down, just coming across the sea. As it came towards the ship, the captain was trying to distract the crew to get them to do something different, and get over the fear. They couldn't move anything while the cloud was around the ship.
The Inquirer stated that during the event, the ship's compass revolved with the speed of an electric motor, and the sailors were unable to raise pieces of steel from the magnetized decks. The story went on to quote the Mohican's captain, Urquhart, who confirmed the account was vouched for by every man of the crew. But perhaps the most astounding USO-related event, according to experts, is a Canadian case from 1967.
The Shag Harbor case is the most important USO case in documentation. The UFO moved underwater to a different point. A second UFO joined it.
Coming up, we visit Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia, on the 38th anniversary of this crucial USO incident.
On October the 4th, 1967, that's where the lights was, right behind me on the water.